Order in the court. Order in the court, guys. It's your girl, your legal bestie, Attorney Simone, and I am streaming live from Diddy's new home. Because the bail appeal was denied. Come on in here. I'm going to give you guys a chance to come on in here. We're not going to be long because I'm going to get to the point today because we're going to come back on. I'm going to come back on at the top of the hour, which is 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, and I'm going to be on with a special guest, the pop culture critic, and we're going to talk together, okay? But yes, this is see right now, Diddy is in protective custody, both to protect him and his bottom hole. You know how he is with that lube. They found 1,000 bottles of lube, and I thought to myself, Amazon. Y'all didn't think to yourself, why does this man keep needing all this lube? What is he lubing? You know, is this something he's exporting to a third world country to, prevent, friction? Like, nobody said, man, why all the lube? Because of course everybody gets everything from Amazon. I have so many questions. People say, what are you looking at? You're looking at Diddy's new home right here. Oh, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the bail appeal. I'm silly. I'm fun. I'm whatever. I'm a little bit Nancy Grace meets Cardi B with a little sprinkle of Whitley Gilbert is what I was told. Where did my little thingy go? Oh, here you go. Yes. So there were cases of baby oil. Where do you put this? Let me tell you just a quick little sidebar. When I read about that baby oil, I had this flashback. See, I'm doing egg retrieval. And they did me like a little egg retrieval, right? We did one round. They took my stuff out and then took the eggs out. And the doctor says, well, you can't use your, buttercup. Don't put nothing up in there for 2 weeks because we just had this procedure and, you could get infection or anything like that. I said, okay. So I go and I get a colonic. Now, usually when I get a colonic, I only like gay people to give me colonics because they're really good at doing butt stuff gently. But this time I went to a black lady. She's a very, very nice lady. I'll do a little post on my Instagram because I want more people to go to her. So I go to the black lady and she wanted me to do it on my own the first time. And I'm not good with butt stuff because that's not my ministry. So anyway, I did it on my own and she comes in and she turns on the little colonic machine and she's like, it sounds like there's a leak. And I said, I feel like, she said, do you feel like it's secure? I said, yeah, it's insecure. I'm like scooting down. I was like, I'll scoot down a little more. And she goes and she turns it up and she's like, it's not in your bottom. It's in your vagina. I was like, oh my God. And it was all lubed up. And I put it up in there. Let me tell you, I thought I had the chicken pox. Down there. I promise I'm getting to the Diddy stuff. I thought I had the chicken pox. Oh, it was the worst thing. It was an honest mistake. But generally, I'm gonna go back to the gays when I need butt stuff done, specifically colonics, generally. But all right, we somebody said the background is killing them. So the moral of the story is when I saw about the lube and the lubricant, I said, I hope they're putting it in the right holes, because that one time that I put the lubed up thing in my buttercup instead of the bottom, I felt like I had chicken pox of the vajiggle jaggle. Chicken pox of the buttercup. You know what the buttercup is. You know what your buttercup is if you're a lady. All right, here we go. Oh, thank you so much. We got a new member. Thank you, Pam. All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a quick, I'm going to make this quick. With this hearing, the legal community, us attorneys, we're very much surprised and in shock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from you some play-by-play tweets. Yes, there are documents that were filed, but those documents were filed beforehand. I want to make sure you know the play-by-play tweets from today with a reenactment, because that's why you're here. Nick May said she's using Buttercup from now on. Commentary is too hilarious, although issue is serious. Lube. Yeah, we got to, glad they got him, but why did they keep? I'm going to start some of these serious questions, because we're serious too. I'm actually smart, y'all. I promise. I got a full ride to the University of Pittsburgh when I was 16 years old to study finance, which I did. Then got a almost full ride to Cornell Law, which is where I graduated from. And I've been practicing law for what year are we in? Yeah, for not quite 20 years, more like 16. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to share with you these tweets that summarize, and I'm going to kind of reenact it as we go. And then we're going to also talk about the legal implications. Feel free. So, SJ said, I'm baffled by the fact that you couldn't tell the difference between. Well, here's why I couldn't tell the difference between the colonic stick going in my buttercup versus my bottom, is because I don't do butt stuff. Okay. So I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. And actually, when that slid in there, I said, oh, this isn't so bad. Maybe I will do a little butt stuff, a little butt action with my next boyfriend. But because I thought to myself, but if I'm going to do that, butts are only for boyfriends. Okay. Butts are for boyfriends. You cannot just be out here doing butt stuff with strangers. Like, oh, he's cute. I met him at the club. No. All right, here we go. On to what we're supposed to be here talking about. All right, oh my gosh, here we go. So these tweets. All right, so the Inner City Press, shout out to the Inner City Press. He's done an amazing job covering this. And put it up here. Oh, no, I'll make it a little bigger for you. How we had it before. All right, so what he shares is he says, okay, all rise. The government comes in. AUSA says she starts with. Now, again, the issue solely here is yesterday, it was simply a magistrate judge who denied bail. You always go in front of a magistrate first, but it's truly the decision of who's going to be the presiding judge over the entire case. So I want you to follow when I talk about this. I want you to pay attention to the presiding judge, her attitude towards each of the attorneys here. AUSA Emily Johnson says the freak-offs were elaborate. They began in 2009 and extended into this year. These freak-offs were arranged by his entourage. The defendant used narcotics so that the victims would continue. Ketamine, GHB, and others. The defendant would record these freak-offs, and at least in part, to use them to blackmail. We also have an email. A victim says, you are going to make me, I'm not going to say it on the public record, or you were going to leak some freak off stuff. Okay. A different victim wrote, he said he was going to expose me with an S tape and I was given narcotics. All right. I'm muting this for YouTube. And that's just 2 examples, she says. And if so rich when the defendant's submission and so it's rich when the defendant's submission filed today accuses the victim of extorting. Y'all know that? He had the audacity in the bail package today to allude to Cassie, quote, extorting him. But you gave him all that money, didn't you? Your insurance company gave her all that money. The insurance adjusters from each and every insurance policy that you had, they looked into those facts and they decided it wasn't extortion. Because if they did think it was extortion, you better believe they would have denied the claim, they would have let it go to court, and they would have responded with a counterclaim for extortion. That didn't happen because he's a damn lie. Next, the security team This is the assistant attorney, U.S. attorney, says the security team is the same one that he says would monitor him. So the security team that was over the freak offs is the one that's supposed to be monitoring. This is one of the offers that he's made. Check this out. AUSA says the head of his security has now been served with a subpoena, given that we've learned about his role in the offense conduct. Now, about the hotel incident. Yesterday, defense called it a fight in a relationship, but it's trafficking. The defendant had a freak off on March 5th, 2016. We have evidence there was one commercial S worker in there in the room during the assault. She isn't even wearing shoes. She is in danger. Defendant storms out in a towel. We have a message from the victim, and that says, I still have crazy bruising. He claims he wanted to get his clothes back, but that's not what happened to her. She tried. So Diddy's claim in his bail package is, if this was simply a spat between boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, honey, if this is what boyfriend and girlfriends do, then I might need to be a little gay, because I don't want that kind of man or woman or nothing. Okay. What do they say? They say everybody's a little gay sometimes. Not me. I like them. I like the men's. But going on, it says, we have evidence. There was one S worker. And then it says, we have a message from the victim. I still have crazy bruising. He claims he wanted to get his clothes back. So Diddy's excuse is, he did that to get his clothes back. And the AUSA says it very well. Says, that's not what happened to her. She tried to escape a room with the defendant and a commercial S worker. She fled without shoes. Immediately after the assault, the defendant sent 3 messages. Call me. The cops are here. This is what he said at the hotel. He says, call me. The cops are here. I got 6 kids. Yo, please call me. I'm surrounded. You're going to abandon me all alone? The defendant knew he had done something that could elicit a police response. Think about the level of ego that this man must have to say, somebody said, call him on JPay. The level of ego that he must have in order to say, it's your fault the police are here after I beat your tail and dragged you. Let me keep going. I'm mad. I'm mad for her. And the ego. The defendant knew he had did something wrong. AUSA, he covered up what he did. This year, after the surveillance video came out, only then did he admit that it was him. Because remember, he said, I never did any of those things. Deny. He's not taking responsibility. It's only after evidence comes out that he can't rebut. Because when there is evidence, as we saw here, he's simply trying to rebut. Also, now we're going to get a sneak peek of what his defense is going to be at trial. It's going to be, Your Honor, this is just a relationship. We just got relationship woes, Your Honor. Just it ain't nothing criminal. I need a beverage. Hold on, I'm freezing my eggs, so I can't have an adult beverage. I got something else. All right. It says he covered up what he did this year. After the surveillance video came out, only then did he admit that it was him. Yesterday, it was claimed that his clothes were taken. His attorneys argued, the reason that he was upset is she took his clothes. His clothes were taken, which is why he came out in a towel. Remember, in that video, he comes out in the hallway in a towel. His lawyer said, because his clothes were taken. The AUSA rightly states, states that's not what happened. Why drag a victim back down the hall to the room if all you needed was your clothes? No, you wanted more privacy to continue the pow-pows. AUSA says the indisputable evidence makes clear you cannot take the defendant at his word. March 5th, 2016 is far from the defendant's lone act of violence and obstruction. Freak-off activity is the core of this case, the use of force, coercion, and drugs. AUSA says our investigation is ongoing. Half a dozen escorts, well, that's only 6. That's not that much, actually. It's just the tip of the iceberg of the number of escorts who have participated in these freak-offs. Again, my ex-boyfriend used to do them. My gay boyfriend used to do them. But most of the time, I think he was doing it to girls. I don't really know. I don't ask those questions. This case is charged as sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. The acts were not consensual. going on. Defense is arguing that anyone in a freak off wanted to be there, but that's not the law. When people are threatened with exposure and are beaten, they cannot consent. That is trafficking. Victims' heads were pushed against car windows. Here is just one text. When you get effed up, you knock me around. This is likely from Cassie to Diddy. When you get effed up, you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. Y'all, that's powerful. She said, I am not a rag doll. I am not a rag doll. I am someone's child. We have witnesses who witnessed her injuries. This conduct happened behind closed doors in houses, hotel rooms, and cars. The judge appeared concerned. Now, the judge is a woman. The AUSA says Judge Chernovsky found that she did not believe defense counsel. So that was, I think she's referring to the judge yesterday in yesterday's hearing, I believe. She said Judge Chernovsky found that she did not believe defense counsel can control the defendant. Consider the Mercedes case in this circuit, reversing a decision to release a defendant. Let's turn to obstruction, because that's the other issue. And remember, it's the government's burden to prove that he should not be given bail. And it's a hard burden. And basically, you have to show flight risk, but also dangerousness of the crime and the person. And in this case, and you also have to show, if you want no bail, something like obstruction, meaning if you let him out, we will not be able to put forth our full case because he's going to be tampering with evidence or witnesses. And so here it says, Chernovsky found that, let's turn to obstruction. They have directly contacted a victim in November of 2023. That must have been, I'm guessing that's Cassie. Constant contact with witnesses to the charged conduct, meaning witnesses to what's been alleged in this indictment. They've been running around talking to them. After subpoena, before the government has interviewed these people. So they went around running around talking to these people before the government even had a chance to talk to them in order to try and get them to say certain things. It says two of the examples are there are communications between the defendant and a witness, 13 contacts. Judge Carter says 13 contacts with two people. AUSA says, sorry, no, 14 contacts between the defendant and the witness. Also, he outreached to a witness that he had not been in contact with for several years after the grand jury subpoena. He used intermediaries, meaning he used other people to make the call on his behalf. He recorded the conversation on another person's phone. In November 2023, he twice called a victim. I'm sure that was Cassie. You know he called Cassie after that petition went out there. You know he called her. In fact, remember earlier last year, at an award ceremony, out of nowhere, he shouts out Cassie. It was all over the blogs because at the time he was very hot and heavy with Young Miami. Young Miami was at that same awards show holding a "Hey Poppy" banner, and everyone was like, "Why are you thanking Cassie?" Well, y'all, that was because Cassie's legal team and his legal team were in discussions. See, you don't just file a complaint like that. So a lot of people were like, oh, there's no way Cassie's insurance or Diddy's insurance settled it within 24 hours. No, fool. They didn't settle it within 24 hours because they had been talking for months. They sent a demand. You send a demand to the insurance adjuster for the employment insurance because that's what was triggered since she worked for Diddy's label. Then y'all go back and forth on numbers. And if they don't run you the number that you believe you're entitled to, you file the suit, which is what she did. So I'm saying that to say his legal team and Cassie's legal team were talking back when he did that little dig, when he was like, oh yeah, Cassie, yes, yeah. That's because he thought he could prevent her, sweet talk her into not filing suit. Joke's on you, sinner. All right, next, it says, the defendant called her and gaslit her, trying to convince her. Oh, let me finish this part. It says, he recorded the conversation on another person's device. In November 2023, he twice called a victim, Cassie. On November 19th, that was the day the petition was filed, he received a text from this other person in response. It reads, I feel like I'm reading my own trauma. my experience. I think there might be a typo there, but it then says the defendant called her and gaslit her, trying to convince her it has been consensual. He repeatedly said he was not supposed to be speaking on the phone. He tells the witness not to text him. The defendant said, if in other words, if money is what he needs, there's nothing to worry about. Money. So he tried to pay off Cassie. That's what this is saying. He tried to pay her out, baby. Whatever he was going to give her, it wasn't as much as that insurance company was going to get her. And by doing it the way that she did, we are here today. It then says the defendant wrote his financial advisor should not make a mistake and not get that rent paid. This was obstruction. In other words, he was insinuating that if that person didn't do what he wanted to be done, he wasn't going to continue paying their bills. The court says this is obstruction. They're citing the case U.S. versus Lafont, a defendant who fed a false narrative. And here, that's what's going on. They're saying Diddy is feeding false narratives to witnesses. The AUSC says, I'll go over the cases. The judge, that's not necessary. I'm familiar with those cases, AUSC. A recent civil suit last week, Dawn Richard filed a civil suit. She was in a band also with Ms. Harper. Ms. Harper issued a statement after 128 phone contacts. Oh, Miss Harper, girl, you trash. You are trash. Is she trash or is she just another victim? I don't know. Jury stuff. Let me be a good Christian here. Maybe. Here's the thing, because remember, she made a statement. She issued a statement saying my name's Bennett. I ain't in it. I haven't seen anything, right? Is the gist of what she said. Hold on, let me switch this. Ooh. One moment. Yeah, the gist of kind of what she said was like, oh well, I've not witnessed any of that. But remember, yesterday we were told in one day alone, 54 calls to her. One day. So this means there were multiple days where he is harassing Kalina, and there were 128 phone contacts. All right. It then says, he says, we didn't deal with Lawrence Ray's case. The magistrate judge Fox ordered detention even on one victim, but the judge found it was corroborated by documentary evidence. He's just citing case law here. Judge says, anything else? The attorney says a few more things. The judge says, how many? She's sick of it at this point. Because see, that's the thing with federal judges. Federal judges are lifetime appointments. Not only are they lifetime appointments, so that means they don't have to care what public opinion says. They don't do what just seems like what it seems like the public wants them to do, y'all. Oh shoot, hold on one second before we finish. Don't forget. Here we go. You can book a consultation with, oh shoot, I messed it up. You can book a consultation with me, guys, at attorney Simone at SimoneRedwine.com. I'm going to share that screen. Here you go. At SimoneRedwine.com. There are consultations. You scroll on down to hire Simone. I have consultations for 30 minutes starting at $149 currently. Oh, wait. Yeah. It's down below. Okay. You get the gist. Here. Come here. You can do book Simone. You get the gist. Also, my book, ebook Background Checks 101, a beginner's guide to discovering who the heck you're actually dealing with, is available for $19.99. Back to these tweets, okay? We're about to wrap it up because I got to get off of here by 6 Central and start my next live. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. But it continues to say anything else. Now, this judge again, federal judge, and the judges, they read everything in advance. Also, every federal judge has what's called they have clerks. These 2 clerks are law graduates that have graduated law school at the top of their class. They generally clerk for the federal judge for 2 years. And so therefore, this person prepares the opinions, drafts them, does all of that. And all of the judge does is just review everything and confirm that it's in alignment with their position. So I say this to say, this judge was very prepared and is not making an off-the-cuff ruling. All right. Next, it says, anything else? She said 3 minutes. AUSA says, traveling to New York does not address danger to the community. I'm here seeking detention, but I note the bail package does not have enough conditions that focus on obstruction, and it couldn't. He's been involving other people. The defendant should be detained pending trial. The judge says defense. Combs' lawyer is Mark Agnifilio. And he says, well, let me start with Miss Harper. I was called by her and a lawyer. I said, do what you want, make a statement or not. I later found out she did. Combs' second lawyer, Terry Gargo, says, Miss Harper felt that she was being besmirched. Besmirched means lied on, okay, and made to look bad. She felt she was being besmirched. We did speak with her at 2 a.m. on the 11th. So, this is me. This is not. And sir, why are you calling anybody at 2 a.m.? 2 a.m.? Tell me in the chat, does that look like obstruction to you? If somebody calling at 2 a.m., that means this is after they already called a girl one time, 54 times in a day. And then you're telling me September 11th, this is the morning right after Dawn files her lawsuits. Dawn's lawsuit was filed on the 10th. At 2 a.m., you calling my phone. If you calling my mind, I'm nervous. Are you outside? Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt my kids? No, that's not helping you, sir. You sound stupid. All right, the judge says, he says, we did speak with her at 2 a.m. on the 11th. The judge says, after speaking, what would be the reason for Mr. Combs to continue contacting her? Because remember, 144 contacts or whatever it was. Garrigo says, oh, she was concerned that she was in the media. Okay, so, well, why does she need to talk to Diddy about that? Unless she feels like Diddy is a fixer and she wanted this situation fixed in her favor. All right, comes the second lawyer. Let's see. Mr. Agnolfo says, I brought today the head of Sage Intelligence. We are proposing that Sage Intelligence personnel, all former law enforcement, will be monitoring the residence of Mr. Combs 24/7. They will have 1 or 2 employees here at all times, Your Honor. There will be a visitor log. Only pre-approved could come in. We could give the list to the court. Mr. Combs will not have a cell phone or access to the internet. That way, no witness intimidation, completely nullified, Your Honor. Having Sage Intelligence on site, we'll do what we have to do, Your Honor. Even 3 there. We'll have 3 intelligence officers there. If you don't believe that Mr. Combs' actions in coming to New York are only about risk of flight, it shows he's deeply respectful of the court's authority. He is responsible, Your Honor. Mr. Combs knew he was under investigation. He gave us his passport. This is not defense lawyer threats. No, Your Honor. We took the passports of 5 of his family members. We have a letter of intent to sell his airplane. We had 3 buyers, but they didn't work out. The judge, can you get to the point? It shows it's trustworthy. He's not a defendant who says, come find me. In Maxwell and Epstein, judge, how does that relate to the danger and obstruction? If he was aware in April, why is he contacting witnesses? I'm using a black lady voice because I feel like she might be black, but she's probably not. But it's that kind of coverage. It's that kind of, okay. Back to Agnolfo. A woman contacted him. She said she'd gotten a subpoena and we told him, don't speak to her. Judge says, talk to me about danger. Mr. Agnolfo says, people who are in danger are people who are a danger are people who are contemptuous of the court. But Mr. Combs, he has never been contemptuous of the court. He has a case in New York in 1999 and he came to court every time. He shows up on time, Your Honor. Judge, under your plan, would he have employees? Yeah, they'll handle his finances. They're in California. Judge, would he be able to leave the residence? Oh, no. And the security, they could be in there. Would they be there in the house? Oh, yes, in shifts. We could put cameras in there filming 24 hours a day. They could do spot checks. He doesn't use that. He doesn't use the internet, and we can make it as secure as we need to make it. There are already cameras in there. Sidebar. This is me. Yes, we know there's cameras in there. Little Rod told us about the cameras. Cassie told us about the cameras. The cameras are used to to blackmail people when you want them to do nasty, freaky, weird-ish. So this isn't helping. This is not a helpful argument. This is not helpful. Okay. This is weird. I'm going to continue. I'm going back. All right. So next he says, under your plan, will he have employees? Yeah.
Can he leave his residence? No. There are already cameras there. And then the judge says, that video is troubling. He was 40 something years old.
In other words, the judge is like, he was a grown ass man over here dragging this girl like that, like a little rag doll.
And Agnifilo says, oh, he realized he has a problem with drug addiction and anger. He went into rehab program for a period of time. The woman in the video, she also went into rehab around the same time, talking about Cassie. See, Cassie told us, sidebar, Cassie told us in the petition that she had to go because he got her hooked on this stuff, which was required in order for her to perform. And then him going to rehab, well, baby, let me tell you something. Apparently it didn't work because yesterday when he was arrested, they said they found pink, you know what I mean, in his hotel room. So again, fail. Okay. So then Diddy's lawyer continues. He says, oh, Your Honor, they loved each other. The written messages, they're heartbreaking. The sex and the violence were totally separate, motivated by separate things. The way that they chose to be intimate, they would bring a third person on. They chose that. The judge, what does that have to do with him punching her, throwing a vase at her? What's love got to do with that? That's why I think she's black, y'all. I think she's black lady. His lawyer says, well, that was jealousy from infidelity in both directions. Mr. Combs and this other person, the violence is from that. Judge, what is your point? Judge, and you say they invited a third person in. Well, if that person is a commercial S worker and they have traveled across state lines, isn't that a problem? The lawyer, oh, I've spoken with the agency and they said they're not paid for S. But if they feel like it, they can do it to you. Side freaking bar. Hit that like, y'all. Hit that like, please. The lawyer, Gigi said the lawyer's on the pink stuff too. Let me tell you something. And this is how I know that my gay boyfriend was telling the truth when he used to tell me stories about having been one of the S workers, because he would get hired by an agency. And he specifically told me a story of an agency hired him. He thought, like, he used to do like promotional modeling, like for events and stuff, liquor brands, all kind of different things. He thought, and he was getting hired for that. He was told like, hey, yeah, he said, yeah, he went to one and he was telling me how weird and everything it was. Of course, he didn't tell me about the butt stuff he was doing because he didn't want me to know, but I, figured out. But he was saying that they would just tell him, like, we want you for this time frame and we will pick you up. We'll send a car service to pick you up, and would never, ever tell him where it was sending him. They would just give him like the general area, like upstate New York, not upstate, but like the Hamptons or wherever it was going to go. I don't know exactly where it was going. He didn't tell me that, but someplace in the New York area would take him. He'd go there, but it was always an agency. I'm curious if this agency is going to be pulled into this RICO. I bet that agency is going to sing like canaries. Okay. Then the judge says, isn't that a problem? Okay. So next, Diddy's lawyer then says, the former governor of New York, he did this and he was not prosecuted, but they're prosecuting Mr. Combs for it. Judge, let's get back to that video in the physical whooping. Why isn't that relevant to dangerousness? I can feel, well, it's not S trafficking. Even if you don't trust him, Your Honor, trust the bond package. $50 million bond, no internet, Sage, that will give the court comfort that he's not a flight risk. He can prepare for his trial. He had known this was coming. We could have run in March. He was an actual altar boy, Your Honor. The judge, how far back are we going to go? He said, oh, no. She said, how far back are you going? He said, well, he watches a sermon every day. He's done a great deal to earn the court's trust. I ask you to release him. The judge, I've heard from the parties. I find that the government has proven the defendant is a danger. Regarding the bail package, it is insufficient. Even on risk of flight, Combs will remain detained. Yep. Yeah. So then the other stuff is like, ooh, the judge says, that's how I know she's not a black lady. She got black homegirls, okay? I'm going to Google her after this. The judge says, I can set a trial date if you want. If I can't try it, I can find a colleague who can. Agnifilo says, let me speak with the government. He whispers to 4 years. How about a conference in 4 to 20 days? What's your position on speedy trial? He says, Agnifilo says, I'm not prepared to waive it. The judge says first date, October 9th at 2 p.m. U.S. says we move to exclude time under the Speedy Trial Act. Agnephila says I can't consent. He says I'll know on October 9th. Okay, exclude then. The judge, we received some calls today from people who say they have evidence for this case. We referred them to the U.S. Attorney's Office. What about the local rule? We want, the attorney says, we wanted to flag defense counsel's comments about the victim. We are not requesting action. All right, so the gist of it is, y'all, that means victims. I got to get ready to go. But that means victims are calling the judge's chamber talking about, I got something to tell y'all. I got something to tell y'all. Listen. Wait, nursing game. Now you over here cutting up, talking about how you ever been swallowed up, swallowed up. Baby, y'all, that's probably the sermon he was looking at. Tell me something. I'm watching a sermon every day. Talking about swallowed up. That's what he was looking at. Oh, now it makes so much sense. Thank you guys, members of the jury. I call you guys the jury, okay? You visitors, subscribers. Now, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that button. It helps me get sponsorship and things like that. I really really appreciate the support of this channel. We are a fun place where it's infotainment, edutainment. We get the tea. We use receipts. And at the same time, we're learning and entertain. Here's what I want to be the main takeaway. I want you to walk away with understanding. This judge don't play. And I want you to understand with the speedy trial, how that works. Speedy trial means they're going to try and get this stuff to trial maybe 6 months, 8 months, as soon as possible. It's going to be a bunch of witnesses, baby. And I'm going to try to hold y'all's hand, take you through it every step of the way. So share this on Facebook, share this with Church Usher Board. Go ahead, share this in your homegirl group chat. I'm your legal bestie, Attorney Simone. And I also want to just make sure, be fruitful, sis, Simone. I'm tired of my outfit. You got to work. Get your work done, boo. I don't want you get your work done. I don't want you to get fired. But if you do get fired, call me. Okay, call me. We can do a little consultation. I figure out how to get it back. Get you a severance package or something. I'm sure there's somebody on that job we could sue. All right. He said he pled not guilty. Why? So what you do is you always plead not guilty first, right? So that you can negotiate a deal. You don't plead guilty without a deal. So there's always a chance he's going to change it, but he's got to get a deal on the table. The other thing is he wants that speedy trial so he can get up out of protective custody, because Lord knows they're not going to put that man in New York. All the bad he's done in New York. Oh, they're going. These are knives, like Ginsu chicken knives. They're going to. They go, cut that man up. Cut him up like a hibachi. Do I think the state will offer a plea deal? Yeah, they always do. Absolutely. The state will always offer one. It's just a question of, is the offer one where it's so ridiculous that he won't take it, or so high? So that's the gist. So what this means, Diddy will remain in detention. He will remain in jail, in the federal jail, baby, until trial. And we don't have a trial date. And that's what Stutter and Stanley, his lawyer, Stutter and Stanley, was frantic about and trying to get. But I just want to let you know, I've never in my life, the way that they propose his own private security, I've never in my life seen anything like that. It reminded me of, I don't remember if it was Pablo Escobar or the other one, the big drug lord who literally created his own prison in Colombia so that he could serve comfortably. And he had like hookers that would come in there. There was a swimming pool. Like that was the gist of the alternative that Diddy was trying to create. And I stand with the judge here. I think legally, when we talk about how recently he had his surrogates contacting people, they made the right call. And he needs to sit there and think about himself. Think about what he's done. Oh, yeah, that lawyer was desperate. And here's another reminder. Lawyers cannot work. Criminal lawyers, it is illegal for them to work on contingency. So he's either paying that lawyer a flat rate, which could be a few million. Usually criminal lawyers do it on a flat rate versus hourly, because you just never know. Or it could be hourly. Federal prosecutor said, we're not done. That's right. There's going to be more. But here's the thing. I agreed. I'm doing a live. I'm 4 minutes late. So if you're here on the channel, stay tuned. I'm going to be coming back on live with our girl, Elle, and we're going to do it's myself. She is amazing with pop culture and so forth. So I'll be doing that right now. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like and hit that subscribe. Share this with your little group chat. Share this with your friends. Thank y'all. Have a blessed. Oh, wait. I got to tell you, thank you so much for these. We got Pam as a new member. Blockbuster free Diddy. He did nothing wrong. Ooh, I love a good troll. Hey, Blockbuster the troll. Thank you. Latrice, new member. Latrice, thank you for the super chat. And Harriet, new member. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.